That's her. Yep, that's her. I'll have her come up.
No, she's, no.
Okay.
If everyone could please take a seat, I think we're ready to get started. Are you okay? Please remain seated, but welcome the 53rd graduating class of Kirtland Community College Police Academy. If you all please stand for the presentation of the colors.
Coast colors.
Please be seated. Use that. My name is Amy Fugate. I'm the Vice President for Academic Services here at Kirtland Community College, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our very first graduation in the new Thomas Quinn Events Center. So I think it's a beautiful site for it. What do you all think? Yeah? And it's last year, I sat at the Police Academy graduation last spring in a classroom with only the cadets, myself, the director, and the coordinator of the program, and a few of the faculty came because we were in the COVID world and we couldn't do something like this. So we're really glad to be able to have you here. Thank you for wearing the masks to try to keep us all safe as we go through the spikes in Michigan again, making the national news for not good things right now, right? But this is a good thing, and we're happy to celebrate the graduation of this group of students who have gone through the Police Academy. The Police Academy is not new to Kirtland. This is the 53rd class to go through it, but it's the first class to be held on this campus, and it's been a pleasure to be around the students. They've added to our grill. Our grill revenues have gone up while we had the cadets here. They're a good revenue source there. They've done some things in the halls where people are say they're kind of noisy. And as they're doing their scenario training, and we say, yes, they are, but it's a good thing. They're practicing, and they're doing that. I went in the other night and saw that our Mayo simulation area where they have televisions, huge screens around, and are actually practicing things on a traffic stop. I saw a traffic stop happen. And as I was sitting there watching there, I felt myself being caught up in it, saying, you know, watch out, watch out, watch out, because something bad's going to happen. I know something bad's going to happen here. And so the training and the talking through that, the opportunity to do that, it's just been a pleasure for us to be able to see them and have them integrate with the rest of the student population. So we were glad to have them here. It's my job to introduce to you some of the people that are sitting up here that are very instrumental in this. I will ask you to hold your applause so I can get through this so that we can get on to the things that you really want to hear about. But let me introduce, first of all, the president of Kirtland Community College, Dr. Thomas Quinn. Please stand. Board members, Jack Kramer, our board chair, Marianne Farragon, board member Roy Spangler. Our guest speaker today from the Department of National Resources, Captain John Steele. Our representative from the state of Michigan, Michael Logie. Our former director of the Police Academy and now faculty member and director of our range programs, Thomas Grace. And our one that I see a lot that you all have grown to love, right? Sheriff Stern. Sheriff Stern is doing the fitness training with them, so Sheriff Stern. We also have people come to the Police Academy for different ways. Some come through the DNR and our partnership with the DNR. Some come to us through taking criminal justice classes at the college and then moving into the Police Academy as part of that program. And some come to us from different police agencies around the state where they are sponsored to come in. So I would like to introduce people that have done that. Lieutenant Jason Wickland, Jason Wickland is from the DNR, serves on our advisory board. Sheriff Sean Craze, the Crawford County Sheriff. Sergeant Brandon Schneider, the Ironwood Police Department. Chief Alan Sharrow from Richfield Township Police Department. Lieutenant Aaron Papa from Kalkaska Village Public Safety Department. Chief Bill Dollinger from Bellevue, right? Police Department. Bel Air. I can't read Chris's writing. Sorry, Chief. But all of these folks have sponsored people that are sitting over here. And is Glenn here with us? Yes, Glenn. If Glenn would stand up, Glenn Gutierrez is the Chief of Public Safety here, who also teaches in our academy. So thank you all for coming and joining us. When you put a police academy together, it takes people behind the scenes doing a lot of the work. And so one of the people that has been doing this and helping get this graduation together for the first time is the coordinator of our criminal justice programs. And I would like to recognize Teresa Feldhauser, who's in the back, I think. Teresa, wave. And please thank Teresa for all the work she's done keeping this group organized. She's the chief organizer of this group. So thank you, Teresa. I also would like to take a moment and recognize someone who has been instrumental to this program for many years. She started as the coordinator with this group of students, which means tracking them down, getting their paperwork in, getting them registered, getting them oriented to the program, letting them know what's coming. And for many of the police academies, she was the I will say the maternal figure when there needed to be. She could also be the tough explainer of what was going on to people. But she spent many years at Kirtland, and she decided to retire to spend more time with her family. And because of the world we're in, we haven't been doing a lot of retirement receptions, but I thought there would be no better place to honor her than in front of the last group that she helped get organized. So Sharon, would you please come up, and Sharon Brady, who is the former coordinator of our academy. We miss her, but we recognize what she's doing is also good. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you. We also had the retirement of a director of our police academy. So there's a lot of firsts this year, and we have a new director, and it will be my privilege to introduce him in a minute. He comes to us with a world of experience. He's a retired police officer from St. Clair Shores. He also served in the city of Detroit as a police officer. He has done training throughout this country and foreign countries as well in active shooter training. And he brings a lot of experience teaching at another police academy that we don't mention because it's not as good as ours. So we said, put that one behind you, and I don't ever want to hear again about what they did at that one, because we do it better. So you can tell me something that might have been done at another police academy, but don't ever mention that name again to us. But I would like to introduce in a minute Chris Perriott, who will take over the emceeing of this. But I think the last thing I would say is that as we live in the world that we do, where police officers are questioned, police officers are facing dangers every day, where a small town school can have an active shooter do what happened. It's really wonderful for me to see a group of people committed to going into this profession. I think a lot of times we say, why would anyone want to do this profession? And the fact that this group has committed and that future academies continue to commit to protect us. I want to leave you with a quote for me that from one of our greatest presidential orators, I think, that we had. And President Ronald Reagan said, "Evil is powerless if the good are unafraid." And because of people like this group coming through, I can remain unafraid. So welcome. Glad to have you here at Kirtland.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all coming to Class 53's graduation. As Director of Kirtland's Regional Police Academy, I'd like to send my heartfelt thanks to all of you for attending the graduation of Class 53. I myself have been involved in law enforcement and law enforcement training for over 3 decades. The last 17 years, I have been involved in instructing and coordinating in-service law enforcement and academy training. Our goal here at Kirtland is to provide our academy cadets with the finest in basic law enforcement instruction. We accomplish this through our partnerships with the Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement Standards, or MCOLS, and by employing an expert cadre of instructors. I am very proud to inform all of you that we are continuing to excel and exceed this goal. Kirtland Regional Police Academy is revered around the state as one of the best police academies in Michigan. I cannot do this without the assistance from our professional instructors, and at this time, I would like to recognize them and would ask all of the instructors present to please stand to be recognized. Stand up or I'll call you out. Stand up. Class 53 is a class of firsts. It is my first academy as a director. It is the first academy with our Department of Natural Resources partnership. It is the first academy at our brand new Grayling campus. And one of the most proudest moments for me, it is the first academy that I have been involved in over 17 years, where every single one of our cadets either has a job or is in the process of receiving a position with a police department or a sheriff's department. It's incredible. I've never seen that in over 17 years of teaching at the academy level. It just talks about our society today, yes. I can honestly say this is the greatest career that anyone can choose. This field is a calling, and the profession chooses you. It's not the other way around. It is full of good times and bad, highs and lows. Hours of boredom, followed immediately by minutes of your heart racing and your adrenaline rushing through your veins. Nowhere else within our society can you find a job with such diversity challenges, and satisfaction. As a police officer, I learned the value of having loved ones in your life. Having these individuals walk along with you during your journey is something that all cops must have. Having someone to talk with and share those moments within your day, no matter how small, will allow you to better cope with what you see, hear, smell, and feel throughout your career. These cadets have spent the last 17 weeks preparing for the day when they will graduate and become certified law enforcement officers. They will take an oath to serve and protect the citizens of their communities. What they must also have is a promise or a guarantee from you, their loving friends and family. You must promise to be there in their times of need. So with that, I would like to ask all of you that have someone special sitting next to me to please stand, raise your right hand, and take a special oath with me. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'm going to have you insert your name and their name, so just follow along. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to be patient, compassionate, loving, and understanding. 2, state your officer's name. I promise to be that shoulder to cry on, a calming voice when there is doubt and uncertainty. I promise to be there to talk on any day, at any hour that you need. I also promise to give you a swift kick in the pants when I feel you need one. And they will need one. I promise to be there for you and stand by you as you protect the innocent and aid the weak by being their shield in the darkness. So help me God. Thank you. Please be seated. I cannot stress enough how important that is to be in their lives. This career is very rewarding, very challenging, and very stressful. And I can personally attain that having people that I can talk to, even to this day, is extremely important. So please be there for them. I would now like to welcome our commencement speaker, Captain John Steele of the Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division. Captain Steele is no stranger to police work and the criminal justice profession. He has spent over 4 decades in the law enforcement field. Since 2018, as a staff captain with the Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and honoring Captain John Steele.
After 44 years in law enforcement, I need some glasses. I won't say how many years on this earth, but good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Perriott, for your hospitality and your dedication to the Police Academy at Kirtland Community College, and for inviting me to speak today to the graduating class, their families, and friends. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank Shannon Deacon and Sharon Brady for assisting our agency in working through all the processes to enroll our recruits in Kirtland's Academy. I'd also like to recognize Kirtland's longtime training director, Tom Grace, for the years of excellent service to this area's law enforcement and law enforcement training here at Kirtland. We go back quite a ways. Thanks, Tom. I'd also like to thank the administration, Dr. Quinn and Dr. Fugate and Teresa, and the training staff here for all their efforts in supporting the Police Academy and providing training services to the region. It's an honor for me to be here today to share some thoughts with the graduates and with the audience. After a 44-year career in law enforcement in one capacity or another, it certainly gives me great pride for the opportunity to address people who are sitting in the position that I was many years ago. Throughout the day and in the days to come, people on this stage and in the audience and in your communities will give their heartfelt graduations and best wishes. And I'd like to be the first to say how proud I am of all of you. And I'd like to say thank you for making the decision to join the ranks of a noble profession, especially during some challenging times for law enforcement. The law enforcement division started with 19 recruits in this academy, and I think on the first day we addressed you. We told you that we wouldn't quit on you, your instructors wouldn't quit on you. Probably the only way that you would leave this academy is if you quit on yourself. We started with 19, we finished with 19, very proud of that. I believe that everybody that started this academy finished. And that's really something to say, because it's a very difficult, challenging environment. And for everybody to be hired, that's even better. That's a very impressive accomplishment for everybody. To the families and loved ones of these graduates, thank you for your sacrifices and support during this time. We understand the challenges you may have endured to ensure that these graduates were successful. The law enforcement profession has seen many challenges over the years, and many of the same challenges continue today. There have been numerous governmental commissions, scholars, practitioners that have examined the status and functioning of the criminal justice system and law enforcement in the United States. In the 1960s and 70s, there were strong recommendations that state commissions or agencies be established to develop and implement standards for police officers. In 1965, Michigan, acting as a national leader, established such a commission, known now as the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, MCOLS. That agency regulates the minimum standards and training standards for police officers. So today, we celebrate the quality of these recruits and graduates and recognize the enormous efforts they gave to get to this point. Initially, there's an exacting and complex selection process to enroll in the academy. Once selected, they participate in rigorous academic and physical training. Considering the academic curriculum, the legal curriculum is probably the most challenging. The recruits must learn an extraordinary amount of complex material in a very short time. In the future, they will be second-guessed by legal experts with years of legal education and trial experience. They must have a good grasp of our constitutional rights and their own authority and limitations when they take action. The police skills are also very challenging, and since most recruits have limited experience with firearms or controlling violent subjects, rendering aid to the ill and injured, or responding to emergency in vehicles. Over the years, we have cautioned officers that vehicle crashes represent 50% of all line-of-duty deaths. We remind these graduates today that they have been trained in the basic fundamentals of emergency vehicle operations in a very controlled environment and at relatively low speeds. You must not overdrive, and you must not ignore the environmental conditions when responding to emergencies. Unfortunately, new FBI statistics describe higher officer safety concerns these days. Line-of-duty deaths due to violent acts, mostly firearms, are outpacing previous firearms-related fatalities and vehicle accidents. Now, we see COVID-related deaths of officer outnumber both of those statistics combined. As of October 1st, 214 officers have died in duty-related illnesses attributed to COVID. And rely on your training experiences that you have here at the Academy to help keep you safe throughout your career. I'm speaking with Mr. Logie from MCOLS. He told me today that he has processed 23 law enforcement public safety officer benefit applications this year alone related to COVID. Those are line of duty deaths. The minimum academy curriculum is 562 hours of training. Kirtland Police Academy goes beyond the minimum and requires recruits to participate in nearly 700. Our conservation officers will continue their conservation officer specific curriculum for another 4 weeks. And so it's to the graduates to whom have been given much, much will be expected. You might be wondering just what would be expected of you. You're transforming from a student to a professional public servant. Your challenges and obligations are not over because you've graduated today. They've really just begun. Your community and agency will expect you to demonstrate the highest integrity of someone entrusted with enormous power and responsibility. Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, the success puts government power in perspective. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. You've all heard many people tell you about the enormous powers that you will have as police officers, but power is relative, as you will experience the very first time that your case goes to court. Or you have to explain your actions to a supervisor or the prosecutor or in a deposition. The unjust use of power is intolerable in American society, and there are severe personal and organizational consequences for those who act irresponsibly. Your department leaders, your peers, your community expect that you will never stop learning or maintaining your physical conditioning. These obligations are mostly yours. Agencies have limited resources. You expect to advance in the department, become a greater asset to your agency, or to be more marketable. You must continue to take continuing education seriously and become a lifelong learner. Law enforcement is an ever-changing profession, and it will take constant study and preparation to keep up to date and knowledgeable. Physical fitness and healthy habits have been your routine for the last 18 weeks. In order to adequately protect yourself and your partners, and to mitigate the effects of stress from police work, you absolutely must continue the physical fitness and wellness training you've committed to in the academy. As you begin your career, you'll be exposed to a diverse range of personalities in your department. As individuals, seek out someone to emulate, someone who demonstrates the values of professionalism, hard work, integrity, and optimism. Those who are mindful of the impact they have on others seem to be more successful in their careers. They demonstrate emotional intelligence by interacting with others to solve problems, not create them. When confronting tense or even dangerous situations, they tend to de-escalate the tension, establish confidence, and have a calming effect just by their presence, and demeanor. Periodically, do a self-assessment. Review your level of training and education to ensure that you are current and well prepared. Your generation experience continued threats of escalating violence in our society and the continued criticism of our profession. You will be challenged to be ever vigilant and be able to respond to some very difficult situations. Have an out-of-body experience and check your attitude. Apathy and being disgruntled can make going to work miserable, but complacency and losing focus can make going home at night questionable. Look back on today and determine whether you are living up to the strongly held values you hold today. frequently reread the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. You are poised to embark on a rewarding career. Most people will never experience the challenges, the excitement, the tragedies, the camaraderie, the respect of many good people, and the humorous events that you will experience. Be humbled and gracious, for you have been afforded an opportunity that is only offered to the few who are selected to serve and protect the rest of us. They say you don't get many thank yous in public service or in police work, and that police work is a thankless job. That's not been my experience totally. And let me be the first to say thank you for choosing law enforcement as your career and for making the commitment to protect our loved ones and our way of life. Congratulations, good luck, and be safe. Thank you.
We'd like to present an award for our commencement speaker, Captain John Steele. And Mike, do you guys have one as well? Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever. You can do it. Yeah, do it now.
As the director said, my name is Mike Logan with the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. MCLS is the licensing and regulatory board for the state of Michigan for law enforcement. And I've been fortunate enough to be in law enforcement myself, not as long as Captain Steele there, but for 36 years. And as you folks go through, I think, your career, as the captain just talked about, picking out someone that you can emulate and mentor or look up to and go through your career, I think is so valuable. There's so much negativity right now in the world, it seems like, and a lot of that's for a lot of different reasons, but I think in reality, people love law enforcement officers, and it's just right now, unfortunately, somewhat of a negative time in law enforcement, but I don't find that to be true at all. I find this to be the greatest career in the world, and hopefully you'll find someone in your career that you look up to and that you emulate. You know you have a good boss when you don't want to call in sick to work because you're afraid of disappointing them. And fortunately for me in my career, I've had some great bosses. The men and women in law enforcement have been tremendous to me, and I'm so thankful for that. And part of that is being a good boss is more than just, yelling and screaming. I don't think a good boss is a yeller or a screamer. I don't think a good police officer yells and screams. I think they de-escalate situations, and they are empathetic to people, and they realize the great power that they carry. So part of that, though, is I think having someone that you look up to, and that someone for me is Captain John Steele. When I started at MCLS, I was amazed at how brilliantly smart this gentleman was, or is. Smart the DNR was to steal him from MCLS, and I want to present him with a special plaque from MCLS. It states, in recognition of the 45 years you've service, you've touched countless lives and improved the law enforcement profession, because Captain Steele is retiring here next month. On behalf of MCLS, fellow officers, and the citizens you serve, two simple words that mean so much more. So for John and for all you folks, or all you new recruits, I really hope that you find your John Steele out there, because it means so much. You're always going to have to, sometimes, like he said, reassess yourself and your value system as you go out. I know John is someone that I never wanted to disappoint, and he's someone I still look up to, even though he left MCOS 4 years ago. I've never met, I don't think, a more brilliant law enforcement officer or leader who's been in the field for so long, and he's meant so much to us and the staff at MCOS, his old department at Flint. I still talk to officers there that just think the world of him. And you know, when you have made your mark on so many people, it just means so much, and it means so much to me to have him as my boss and mentor. So, Captain Steele. Thank you.
And now we'll begin our awards presentation. Our first two awards will be for firearms, and the Mankowski. Our cadet speaker, Cadet Mark Mankowski, will come up and do our speaking for the cadets. Cadet Mankowski.
Four months ago, the Kirtland Regional Police Academy welcomed its 53rd class, consisting of 27 cadets and the second class ever in the history of the Academy. The class of 53 would bring 8 women and 19 men from all walks of life as we left professions in search of something more. These included environmental conservation, academia, nonprofit organizations, business, corrections, and various blue-collar jobs. We also have 4 cadets that served in the United States military, the United States Marine Corps, and the United States Army. And on behalf of everyone in the audience, we would like to thank you for your service. The first day walking into Kirtland was met with a mix of nerves and excitement. We gathered in the lecture hall, and as our instructors entered the room very tactfully and swiftly, one of the instructors quickly closed the reactionary gap. Cadets. We later learned that in law enforcement, the reactionary gap is the minimum amount of distance needed to properly react to a threat, and it's safe to say that the gap the instructor created was far closer than the recommended 6 feet. The instructor then asked the cadet a simple question: "Are you the one?" What could he possibly mean? Was it a trick question? Were we supposed to answer? Or should we just remain silent and stay standing at attention? At the time, very few, if any of us, knew how to answer that question. We were then ordered to the gymnasium for PT, where the time we were given to change and be lined up was impossible. This was to see how we would react in a stressful environment, and for the next hour, it was drilled into us how important it is to listen and follow directions given by the instructors and work together as a group. If we failed to do so, additional PTs such as front-leaning rests, push-ups, and sprints were ordered. If my memory serves me right, we never made it to the actual workout that Sheriff Stern and the other PT staff had planned for us that day because we were too busy practicing our front-leaning rests, our push-ups, and our running capabilities. The simple task of listening, following directions, and working as a group would lay the foundation for the rest of our academy. Over the next 17 weeks, we covered a variety of different trainings and instruction that we will use throughout our career in law enforcement. Fit for duty, fit for life was the motto for our physical training sessions that were held each week, as it is crucial to our safety as officers to be in good shape to perform our duties. We had defensive tactics and firearms trainings, which showed us how to properly respond to suspects who were non-compliant with our orders, and to be able to protect ourselves as situations became escalated. 10-hour days of learning constitutional law was as exciting as it sounds, but absolutely necessary in order to properly apply the laws to incidents we are guaranteed to encounter in the field. We learned how to properly handle situations such as domestic violence, traffic stops, individuals with warrants, and how to conduct proper field sobriety tests. For those family members and loved ones in the audience, I'm giving you a heads up right now that this holiday season, we need to continue to practice our field sobriety tests. So don't be surprised if one of us asks you to follow our finger while we conduct an observation of your eyes, make you do a 9-step walk and turn, or balance on one foot and count out loud until we tell you to stop. For emergency vehicle operation, we spent 8 hours a day driving quick and safely as the situation and weather conditions permit around various cone courses to simulate responding to calls. These are just a few examples of just the different areas that we covered. Some days, some training days felt like they would never end, and there were some days we hoped never would. Class 53. As we graduate today and soon become commissioned law enforcement officers in the state of Michigan, we're stepping into a world at a time that has been communicated to us over and over again as one of the toughest times to be an officer in our nation's history. After today, our plastic guns will be replaced with real firearms. We'll work for our departments where we'll be faced with a challenge unlike any of us have ever faced before. One instructor said it best, and I quote, "Law enforcement officers are the vanguards between anarchy, chaos, and peace." However, we are not alone. Throughout our academy, we're shown other areas and resources that we may work with when we get into the field. We'd like to thank the following organizations for expanding our knowledge and investing in their own communities: the Roscommon County Sheriff's Office, the Roscommon County Jail, the Craft Center, 82nd District Court, Northern Michigan Child Advocacy Center, Up North Prevention, Camp Grayling, Ogama County Prosecutor's Office, Michigan Department of Natural Resources, the Michigan State Police K-9 Unit and Bomb Squad, Northern Michigan Mutual Aid Response, and finally, the Kirtland Grill and Big B Coffee for keeping us fueled and caffeinated throughout the academy. A special thank goes to the Kirtland Regional Police Academy team of Director Perriott, Academic Coordinator Mrs. Feldhauser, and the recently retired Mrs. Brady to make our academy run as smoothly as possible. You all have kids of your own, and you inherited 27 more. To our instructors who spent countless hours passing on the lessons and experience they've gained over their careers in law enforcement, a thank you simply doesn't cut it. Many of you used personal time or added on 4, 8, or 12 additional hours to. Some of you even came out of retirement to help teach us things you wish you knew when you started out in your career, and I find that incredibly unique and honorable. We wouldn't be here without you, and we appreciate your patience and dedication to the next generation of law enforcement officers. In closing, I spoke earlier about the instructor that asked one of the cadets on day 1 of the academy, "Are you the one?" On behalf of the entire class of 53, we now have an answer to that question. No, we are not the one, because there's no one person in this career that can do it alone. It takes all of us. Thank you. And on behalf of Class 53, we'd like to present our class flag to the Academy.
And now for our awards presentation. Our first award will be the firearms, given by Tom Grace. Tom?
During the scheduled range dates, Class 53 members were schooled in shooting fundamentals of their marksmanship pertaining to the handguns, the shotguns, and the patrol rifle. During this time, shooting records were collected on a daily basis. Range staff members monitored their shooting abilities, weapons safety, tactical knowledge, and overall range attitude. At this time, we have two awards that we would like to present. The first one would be Most Improved. Will Todd Bunce come forward? And our top shooting award, Jacob Ham. From the range staff, it was a pleasure to work with each and every one. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Tom. Our next awards are the Physical Fitness Award and the Defensive Tactics Awards. And those will be given by Sheriff Ed Stern from Roscommon County.
Good morning. First off, on behalf of the staff, I'd like to say congratulations to the family. They wouldn't be here and have completed this if it wasn't for your support and your love. To you, cadets, I say congratulations. You've completed a task that many people from early childhood dream about doing, and you've succeeded, so congratulations. I gotta go on defense here a little bit. Cadet Mankowski in his speech, I don't remember day one that way. It was heartwarming and welcoming, full of positive encouragement. Okay, so whatever he said and the rest of them told you after day one, I don't recall it that way. Okay, difference of perception. During the course of the academy, the cadets are put through a number of different exercise routines with the goal of fit for duty, fit for life. Fitness doesn't end when they graduate here. We're expected as law enforcement officers to protect and serve our communities. We can't do that if we're not in good physical shape. So we expose them to a lot of different things. Some, they probably had seen it before. Others are like, what are we doing? We didn't even know we could bend and move that way. But they all stuck with it. The other part of the physical fitness program is leadership and encouragement. So we watch the cadets, not only their physical abilities, their effort that they put into it, but also how they encourage and how they lead others in their class. There's times where every single one of them was struggling at one point or another. Did they encourage? Did they help them out? Did they motivate them? And that's what we're looking at for these awards. The first award I'd like to present is for Most Improved in PT. That award goes to Marissa Hassevort. The second award is for top in physical fitness. This was very difficult. I can say that this academy was the first academy that we had such a difficult time trying to figure out who this award goes to because they all did excellent. We beat it around as instructors. I even pooled the class because we were struggling so hard on who deserves this award. But we finally came down to the conclusion that this award goes to Paul Leiden. After the first 8 weeks of the academy, we start to transition into the defensive tactics program. They get to beat each other up and learn different techniques and moves, and I'm sure they came home sore. Some had a lot of bruises, but it's all for their personal safety and the safety of their communities that they're going to protect. I have 2 awards to present for that today. First is for Most Improved in Defensive Tactics. This award goes to someone that stuck their nose into everything. They were not shy about trying techniques. They weren't shy about who they were trying the techniques on. It didn't matter. They tried it anyways, and they put their heart into it. And this award goes to Haley Gray. The top in defensive tactics. Again, this was a very hard decision because, like I said, they were all excellent. This cadet did everything we asked, including being our test dummy on multiple occasions, and that award goes to Cody Bourgeois. My final parting words to you: there's three types of people in this world. There's sheep, who are the innocent. There's the wolves, who prey on the sheep. And the sheepdogs, which are the protectors of the flock. Never become a wolf. Always be the sheepdog. Thank you.
We also do an academic award for the top academic cadet. I am proud this cadet did unbelievably well on all of her assignments and tests and graduated with an overall average score of 98%. Pretty amazing. The academic award goes to Cadet Lisa Tobe. Our last award will be our M. Coles Award, given by Mike Logie.
All right, when we talk about so many words that Captain Steele and the sheriff said are just so true about law enforcement and using de-escalation skills and the best teachers and mentors are those that are actually just that have a calming effect. You'll always have that one officer that shows up on a scene, you go, oh man, it's going to hit the fan now. Never be that officer. Always be that officer that strives to calm the situation, and when you have to ratchet it up, you'll know when. But part of the MCOLS Award for the Performance Award is just that. It's just not about academics, but it's about leadership, it's about integrity, it's about those skills and those abilities that we want in today's law enforcement officers. The good news for this person is that they're going to get a wonderful plaque like this from the Mission on Law Enforcement Standards. The bad news is it's not quite done at the MCOLS workshop, but that person, Miss Lisa Tope, if you could come up here. The Outstanding Performance Award for your exemplary demonstration of the knowledge, skills, and abilities required of an effective police officer during the basic training course. We'd like to award this throwdown plaque to you, and we'll get you your new plaque when it comes in. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We'll be calling up each cadet one by one to give them their certificates from Kirtland Community College for graduating the academy. I'll just call them up and they'll come up and take a picture. Yep. Okay.
All right, this was a surprise, and I'm going to butcher names, so I apologize. I usually practice. Cody Bourgeois.
Yes.
With a Jeannie Brown. Ryan Brust. Todd Bunce. Jacob Daniel. Michael Iavoldi. Haley Gray. Dylan Grentz. Sydney Griefor. Jacob Hamilton. Marissa Hassevort. Daryl Johns. Jackson Kelly. Elizabeth Killingbeck. David Lacrosse. Cheyenne Langworthy. Michael Later. Paul Lyden. Mark Mankowski. Olivia Moeller. Richard Nagy. Joshua Radulski. Mark Reffett. Joshua Salas. Lisa Tobe. Logan Turner. And Cameron Wright. I gotta. Okay, that's the most polite clapping and applause I've heard at a graduation, and I know some of you want to yell right now, so yell and cheer and applaud for this group.
Each morning that the cadets arrive for duty, after they get dressed and are in formation, they have to recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. It's 6 paragraphs, and it takes them a little while before they finally get through it. What we'd like to do is we have one cadet that's chosen by the class that will come up before the audience and recite the Code of Ethics for you. So I'd like to welcome Cadet Michael Iavoli.
The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or to my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, in both personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, or that is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duties. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I'll enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such actions by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. After we dismiss the class, you folks are welcome to head out to the lobby area where there's refreshments and you can meet with your loved ones. On behalf of myself, Mrs. Feldhauser, our coordinator, I'd like to thank Dr. Quinn, Dr. Fugate, the members of Kirtland staff, the instructors, all the police, law enforcement administrators here, and all of you. Thank you for coming to enjoy this graduation day with us. Thank you very much. Ready? Class 53. Attend, hut. Lift. Face. Class 53, you are dismissed. Fall out. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.